Welcome back to the Agogi Show. I'm Nick Kumalatsos here with my business partners and coaches, Byron Ovenstone and Josh Hansberger. Today, we are going to be talking about intermittent fasting and how super beneficial and how everybody should intermittent fast. And it's the cure-all for everything because Andrew Huberman said it and whoever else the fuck said it. If you don't know where my where I lean, I think it's stupid. But
how do you really feel?
I don't think it's necessary. Anyways, you're a fan. Josh is a fan.
I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm a fan. Like, let's
not like throw me in front of traffic just yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I can see where it's helpful to certain people. Like, if you have the discipline of a fucking 2-year-old and you're incapable of maintaining a diet or a nutritional profile, then intermittent fasting is a good thing. Because if you can limit your calories to a certain window of 4 hours, 6 hours, or whatever, and that's when you eat, and you're allowed 3,000 calories a day,
but the
eating
science,
3,000 calories in that window is going to be rough. So you're probably going to be in a deficit.
Do you intermittent fast?
When I'm down to like 1,500 calories, and it gets a little bit dirty.
So specifically cutting weight.
Yeah, if I have to make weight or do some like photo shoots, and a couple weeks ago we did that photo shoot, I will intermittent fast because it's a long fucking day if you're gonna spread 1,500 calories over, especially, dude, I'm up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a long fucking day. So
Byron's
I'm like,
hungry.
Fuck this. I'm not gonna eat until like 3. So that I have from 3 till 6 to eat my 1,500 calories. It's 3 meals of 500 calories a piece. And then by 6 o'clock, I'm off and I'm done because I like to eat about 2 hours before bedtime, 3 hours before bedtime. And then by 8, 9, 10 o'clock, I shut it down and I go to bed and I sleep and do the whole thing. And then I'm up again the next day. So then intermittent fasting is beneficial.
You?
I think first of all, we should clarify, like intermittent fasting from your perspective, what are you speaking about?
Okay, intermittent fasting to me is, and I'm not going to talk about fasting, just like, so my definition would be intermittent fasting is like, say we have dinner at 6:30, okay? I eat nothing, no solid foods until, say, noon the next day.
Oh, because you have to meet the 16-hour window or whatever.
Yeah.
Got it.
So like that would be your basic intermittent fasting. So like you basically skip breakfast and you just go straight to lunch. That would be my definition. So with that information.
That's why I just want to preface that first. I mean, kind of caveat, I guess, with what Byron is going off of. I respect that, like that, because too many people don't have the discipline. They're just going to eat a fuck ton of food. So if you limit the amount of time that they can eat in order to cram all that in there, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But then the question is, if they're not disciplined in the first place and they're eating fucking all sorts of food, are they going to be disciplined enough to stop and start eating at certain durations of time? For me, oh man. I train fasted, and I have for probably 10 fucking years. Now, I've tried, eating, bananas beforehand, rice cakes, fucking like an actual breakfast, what some people consider to be X amount of macro breakdown. Physiologically, maybe I'm not getting the best benefits that humanly possible, but I train fasted. And I train first thing in the morning. I end up having a shake afterwards, and then I don't eat like actual solid or real foods until probably somewhere around 11:30. And then I cut myself off after dinner. Is there a reason, are you doing this because you found for you personally, it's just easier to maintain weight or keep fat off, et cetera, by doing that? Because and I'm going to get to my point here. I don't want to leak my point. It's my frustration. Oh, I know. It's going like this, breadcrumbs into what it is you're looking for.
Yeah.
Why do I do it that way?
Yeah. What do you feel the purpose of you doing it that way for so long?
Body response, physiological response, cognition, energy throughout the day, and that's at the end of the day, that's really all I'm fucking looking for. Yeah. I mean, aside from like physical, like looking and performance-based stuff. Physiologically, like movement-wise and cognition-wise and focus, it works for me.
So my rub is that everybody in the universe is like, oh, if you want to lose weight, you just intermittent fast. And I'm like,
you know why?
I know why.
Because it's easy.
No,
Because it's
no, hold on.
calories
No,
in,
no, no.
calories out.
No. This is my shit.
Go ahead.
The only reason why they're like, why intermittent fast? It worked. No, you skipped a meal.
Yes.
So you
ate less food.
just ate 500 calories less that
Correct.
day.
Correct.
That's it.
Yes.
That's what you did.
Yes.
You could eat the same 500 calories and spread it out and still lose weight. But there's this thing that goes around that thinks that intermittent fasting like is this holy grail to weight loss. Is it good for digestive? It gives your digestive system a break? Absolutely.
course.
I agree with that.
Yep.
You should do that every once in a while. I do a 72-hour fast. It was awesome. Right?
It was easy.
It was easy.
I don't know what the hell people are talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just retarded, but it
No,
was
because
fucking easy. Like I
It's
didn't
easy
even.
because we do hard shits all the time.
Yeah.
The average person can't even miss breakfast without thinking their throat's been slit.
So they have to call it intermittent fasting.
Right.
But so I did a podcast with Dr. Nadolsky. He's like the meme. You know him. He's the meme doctor. He's a real doctor, but he like just makes me. He's a meme account. It's hilarious. And he actually shared that they actually did a white paper on a controlled study versus intermittent fasting and people that didn't intermittent fast.
Yeah.
Controlled with same macronutrient breakdowns, you know what I mean, percentage-wise for each individual person, putting them in a deficit, meaning they are consuming less calories than their body is burning versus like their BMR plus their net and et cetera. So total burn for the day, the body burn, is more than what they're consuming in food, meaning they're in a deficit. No difference in the
Of course
study.
not.
No difference. But everybody thinks that like it's this holy grail, and the reality is you're just consuming less calories. But if you intermittent fast and you gorge yourself from noon to 6, it's still not going to work. But typically what happens, like you said, people are undisciplined, they're busy, etc. You just eat a little less because you skipped a meal, and that's why the perception is that it works.
Yes.
And that's my frustration point, is because now, again, we're marketing a diet to someone when we're not educating them on calorically, surplus or being in a deficit and what that benefits for you.
That, and you're not going to the roots of the issue. You're putting a Band-Aid over an issue that will show up in other areas of your life.
Yeah.
Because if you can't even be disciplined with what you put in your face, which you have 100% control over,
Yes.
how the actual fuck are you going to have discipline anywhere else in life? So now we're
you're
just
not.
taking away your need to be disciplined, because it's like, hey man, we're just going to intermittent fast you for a while, and then you're good.
And if you do intermittent fasting, cool. I have no issue.
Fuck it.
I have no issues with it. My only issue with it is treating it like it's this holy grail to weight loss.
No, do it because you know what you're doing or why you're doing it. Like I said, when I'm photo shoot prepping and I'm on 1,500
Yeah.
calories and it's awful, I am going to intermittent fast because I just want to get the calories in a small window. Because also for me, like I know that if I eat my first meal at 2:30 in the morning when I get up, I don't train as well like immediately after eating as I do fasted. So I'll have my pre-workout, I'll train, and then I'll kind of chill out for the rest of the day, and then I'll eat my calories later in the day and I feel fine. But if I was to eat at 2:30 in the morning and train, I'm going to train like shit, I'm going to feel like shit. It's all going to be bubbling up and sitting over here somewhere, which is not enjoyable. And then, like, if you're on 1,500 calories, now you smoked your 1,500 calories before 6 a.m. It's a long fucking day.
But say training, let's identify what training you're doing specifically.
Horrible training.
Like, what are we, like lifting weights?
Big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clanging and banging.
Clanging, banging,
Yeah.
and then we throw in some like sled pushes, some farmers walks, that kind of stuff at the end. Just get the heart rate up a little bit.
So for me, I've actually talked a lot of people out of doing intermittent fasting around training, especially considering jiu-jitsu. I'm curious, and I have questions for both of you on this. Because you do something particular I want to ask if you still intermittent fast, which my question, my guess would be no, but we'll see. You've started jiu-jitsu recently. Have you been showing up intermittent fasted to train?
At 6 o'clock in the morning, yes, because I've been at the gym beforehand.
Okay.
So like I'm
But
a
are you-
little bit fucked up, you know this. I
Yeah.
wake up early, I'll go to the gym. My morning doesn't change. So whether there's jujitsu on or
But
not
after
doesn't
training,
matter.
are you doing protein shake? Are you
Yeah.
doing some? So you're not going fasted. You're not training jujitsu fasted.
I'm training jujitsu fasted, and then after jujitsu, I'll have a protein shake.
But you're saying you go to the gym and then you go to the.
Immediately. Dude, I've got like a 20-minute window to finish the gym and get to jujitsu, and it's a 15-minute
But are you doing a
drive.
shake in between?
No.
No.
No,
So
I
you're
just run
rolling.
the fucking play.
So you're super depleted.
Right, but then I do on my drive between between the gym and jujitsu, I have
So-
electrolytes and pink salt, and I sip.
Sure, that's great. I'm going to tell you right now, if you added in 30 grams of carbs, a little bit of fat, your performance at jiu-jitsu will be wildly increased. And there's a lot of people that are intermittent fasting before doing jiu-jitsu, and I've talked to them, and then like they're like, "Oh, wow, I feel amazing on the mats," because you actually need that. So for you, you like your rucks still.
Yeah.
Are you fasted those long rucks?
Long rucks?
Like we're talking 12 miles, like the big ones that you do.
No.
So it's really just weightlifting,
Yeah.
weight training. specifically.
I've tried. I'll do 4, 6, 8 miles, maybe, like fasted in the fucking morning. I mean, and that's, 45 pounds on the back minimum, usually right around there, 35, 40, 45 pounds standard. And I can tell, like, there becomes a very nutrient
your performance
deficient
dips.
depletion to where my body is just like, okay, man, like now you're requiring me and asking me to do said activity that's incredibly fucking long, strenuous, and rough, but you're not going to fuel me and feed me and allow me
Your body
to
is
move the
craving-
engine the way that you
Yeah.
are telling me you want it to move. Like I'm contradicting myself by what I'm inputting or not inputting, and then physiologically what I'm expecting my body to be able to do.
Yeah.
So, but I'll do intra, like gel packs or gummy or a quick bar or something like that, to get
Yeah,
some electrolytes.
BPN
And
just came out with the Go bars.
I just bought a box.
Dude,
I haven't tried them
fire.
yet. I'm holding on to them for.
So that's been my go-to pre-jiu-jitsu in the morning is a 32-ounce thing of electrolytes and then a Go bar prior to. Feel like a champ.
I just don't do oats and shit, so I'm kind of concerned about
It's solid.
Okay,
Yeah, it's solid.
but I bought a box.
But my point to all of that is training. Your food is your fuel.
Correct.
Your food is your fuel, and if you're going to train, you need to fuel up for performance. Now, if you're doing something particular that you don't want to require, you're not trying to perform, there's a different thing there. But
Yeah,
fuel your body.
eat to perform.
Eat to perform.
So another thing with the intermittent fasting,
But it's not as much as you think.
Correct.
Like 25 grams of carbs before a lifting session or before something is more than ample.
yeah, we're not saying like steak dinner with baked potato and fucking Caesar salad.
No.
It's-
25, 30 grams of carbs.
I'd be,
a little bit of
I'd be
fat.
on the side of the road, done with the ruck, like flopped over to
Yeah,
taking a nap.
Go and More Bar is like the perfect macros for something like that, and then so is a rice cake, peanut butter, and a banana on top. You know what I mean? Or honey.
Little honey.
Little
I
honey.
put the honey on top.
Yeah.
Like I call it like fat kid snacks. Like a Snickers bar. It's a candy bar. It's so good.
That is a great pre-workout snack to fuel your body, and you will feel a difference when you do it, unless you're Byron and you're weird. But
Oh no, I'm 100%. I know I would feel better. It's one of those things where like, I just don't want to. Honestly, I just don't want to. Like,
I think as you get more, because you're getting more heavily involved in jiu-jitsu, I think more that you get into that and you start to gas out, and you want to
but
perform.
like the sixth round of 6 minutes,
Yeah.
it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
Especially when you got someone who knows what they're doing and they're putting a lot of pressure and making breathing hard. Like, you're just constantly pushing someone away who's actually trying to harm you. Like, it's a lot of energy.
You might need some carbs.
By the sixth round of 6 minutes, you're 36 minutes into fighting for your life. Like, you're running on empty.
Yeah.
So at that point, that would be lovely. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm a little bit fucked up in the head in that I like to do things and make them as hard as possible. And that, to me, makes jiu-jitsu training right now a little bit harder and a little bit more unnecessary. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna run that play. But when I do get to a point where like I'm actually trying to compete and not just like I'm right now. I'm in the school of hard knocks, dude. Like it's just survival. Can I survive 6 minutes and not
same
die?
with Mario. Yeah.
So it's like survival mode. Okay, cool. But when I'm actually in a position where I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna fuck some people up, and I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu competitions and. Of course, I'm going to fuel correctly. Like I was a professional sportsman. Like, I know what it's going to take.
Hey, great point. How did intermittent fasting or eating for performance work when you were playing professional cricket?
Oh, it was the entire backbone of everything that we did. Like to the point where my dad would basically make sure that I had the right fuel going in and coming out the other side. And also remember, I was playing 2 games a week on a Saturday and on a Sunday. So Saturday, you're already like, your back's against the wall because you're putting out, but now you need to have something in the tank for Sunday. So it's like you have to fuel yourself while playing correctly so that you have gas for tomorrow as well.
What was your go-to pre-game, pre-training, pre-game meal
It's
or
just
snack?
like, it was a good complex carb. Like I would typically have had like red skin potato, sweet potato the night before. And then day of would be like your steel cut oats or something like that. The what's it called? The more complex carb where it takes longer to digest and you don't get the sugar spike. The name just escaped me. It doesn't fucking matter. But like your complex carbs.
Yeah.
Where it takes your body, you don't get the spikes and the troughs.
Yeah.
So it's just like a nice even kind of thing. And then there was points in the game where he would see that I was starting to like gas out, and then he'd mix like Coke and water, because you get that sugar bump, but not too much to where you have a sugar spike and crash. The water kind of hydrates you, and the sugar just picks you back up to normal. And he would just be constantly
Because when you're training that way in a very high performance, what's burning is your glycogen.
Right.
And this is the reason why bodybuilders, if they're on the long training sessions, they'll re-eat or do a shake or do something like that 45 minutes to an hour into their training because
Correct.
their glycogen is dipped and they need to refuel so they can continue to train.
Yeah, and you can feel it kicking in too. You can feel yourself hitting that wall.
Yeah. I feel it around 45 minutes to an hour as I start to feel that kind of like that little energy, the little strength and energy dip. And if I take something, it's like right back in the game and keep going.
Yeah.
Wait till that point, right? Like once you begin to know your body, that hey, you hit that at the 45, 50
No, I'm
minute.
hitting this window.
It's okay.
and
At
do
about
this.
the 35, start thinking about it. At about the 40, maybe start intaking it, so you don't have that drop off, and then you're trying to catch back up. You can just maybe sustain or maintain that higher end of the bell curve.
Well, it's like, I was shit talking marathon runners last episode, but like on this one, like marathon runners, when they feel that they're dehydrated or that they're starting to cramp, it's already too late.
It's done.
So,
Yeah,
so
they're
they're
ahead of
already
it.
gassing up. They know their body so well that they're timing it and gassing up at the right moment so that they don't hit that level.
Yeah,
and that's what my dad was doing for me. He'd be like, hey, and then I'd switch with someone who was on the
But they
boundary.
plan it like if you're really going to eat performance. I mean, it's planned. They know you're going to do it this many miles, this many minutes, and then I'm going to have this, and it's
Correct.
part of the plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So like every 90 minutes or so, I was on the boundary and I was like hammering a banana down, and I was drinking some Coke and water and whatever those fucking concoctions
into
Wayne
it.
had cooked up for me. And then it's like, okay, cool, we're back in. Let's run.
Yeah. Well, guys, what do you think? Intermittent fasting, yes or no? My only problem with it is if it's intermittent fasting for weight loss, you're just being a caloric deficit.
Yeah, I think you got to rebrand it from the elixir of life / the go-to that will solve all of your problems
Right.
to like, it can be a tool amongst many, many tools that you could go to
I'm fine with
for
that.
a result.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm just not okay with the whole.
Don't build your life around intermittent fasting and
Yeah.
think that you're going to live forever. Like when you do actual fasting, now there is scientific benefits to an actual 72-hour fast, but like your intermittent fasting, no, it's just because you have no discipline. Like,
I like that answer. Save round, Josh.
Always. The one thing I want to leave it on is that I found it myself as well sometimes, and then but particularly with clients, is that just because, or due to the fact that you're maybe intermittent fasting or reducing your window in which you're intaking your caloric intake, don't let it create an allowance to eat like shit, or to say,
Right.
well, I'm only eating during this time and this time, so therefore I can have this Snickers bar or this thing or this
It goes
thing
back to
because
what you said before,
because
like,
I'm
still eat the same
it's
whole food,
okay
yeah.
because I'm eating less time of day. No, you're still intaking
Right.
that food or that nutrient or that byproduct of chemicals that you just don't need to be intaking. So don't let it create an allowance to intake shitty things.
Excellent. Well, guys, have you had success with intermittent fasting? Drop a comment below. Let us know what the story is. Either way, good or bad. Doesn't matter. We want to know. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell, give us a thumbs up and review. Peace.